Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning Zainab Ahmed has revealed that the federal government plans to make additional provisions for fuel subsidy in the 2022 budget. The minister, who disclosed this on Monday, had a meeting with the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawal, at the National Complex of National Assembly, says the stakeholders and the government saw that the timing was not favorable.
Let me start by stating the fact that we did make a provision in the 2022 budget for fuel subsidy for January 22. And that suggests that from July that there will be no subsidy. And this provision was made sequel to the passage of the Petroleum Industry Act that has made a provision that all products will be deregulated. Subsequent to the passage of the act, we went back and amended the fiscal framework that was submitted to National Assembly to incorporate this demand. But after the budget was passed, and we have had consultations with a number of stakeholders, it became clear that the timing is problematic, that practically there is still heightened inflation, and also removal of subsidy will further worsen the situation, thereby imposing more difficulties on the citizens. And Mr. President clearly does not want to do that. So what we have to do now is to continue with the discussions that we're making in terms of putting in place a number of measures, one of which is the deployment of an alternative to the PMS, which is the CND, and also the rollout of enhanced refining capacity in the country, including the 650,000 barrels per day Dangote refinery, and also the rehabilitation of the 4 national refineries that have a combined nameplate capacity of 450,000 barrels per day. The increased refining capacity in the country means we will need to import less products. But also, as we're discussing right now within the executive the possibility of amending the budget, we may need to come back to the National Assembly by way of amendment to make additional provision for fuel subsidy from July 2022 going forward, or whatever period is agreed is the right timing.
The Senate President Ahmed Lawal, who had convened the meeting, appealed to the Nigerian Labour Union not to embark on its proposed strike as there was no need for it.
All in search of ways and means of ensuring that ordinary Nigerian does not suffer any hardship, that when the subsidy will be removed, eventually it will be at such a point at which the hardship will be very minimal and would have been taken care of by several programs or projects or empowerments. And it's not about NFC. NFC, how many people are in NFC or TUC? We're talking about every Nigerian, and NFC is just an organized part of the system. But we are concerned beyond the NFC. And I'm taking this opportunity to appeal to TUC and NFC to share this plan to go on strike or demonstration. Is totally unnecessary. There is not going to be removal subsidy. So there is no need for this. Please, let's not create unnecessary tension where there should be none at all. So,
Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timipre Silva, and representatives of all companies also shared their thoughts amidst the controversy over the removal of fuel subsidy by the government.
Very clear. It is clear to the blind and audible to the deaf that it is not possible at this time for us to remove the subsidy. We know that some naysayers, some political people will try to make political capital out of it, but it is not within the contemplation now of this administration to remove subsidy. But of course, if there are legislative enablers that will also ensure that it is within the law, then I think it's a legislative responsibility.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Labour Congress has warned the federal government against plans to remove the fuel subsidy in 2022, saying the action will met with nationwide protests. The Congress said the planned rallies would commence without warning should the federal government announce new fuel prices ahead of scheduled protests rallies in all the states of the Federation.